Did you spit in the spittoon?
You know what? I did not. I never got that opportunity, so I think the players filled it up pretty good, though. I know the president did, so that was good. Yes, he did. I saw him do that, so in the locker room. So, but pretty special win for sure.
Coach, you guys look like you played a lot of three-man front.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just something you saw from Michigan State, or was it for personnel reasons?
I think a combination. Just trying to grow what we're going to do schematically. I think that trying to take advantage of what our strengths are and trying to create pressure, and do it from a scheme standpoint. So I think that we obviously are going to, whatever we feel like on film we have to do to be able to create that, we will, and it may look a little bit different every single week, and we'll adjust and have a good plan. But that's pretty much a combination of both.
Marcus and Tigray, and he thinks that they've just got a lot more confidence, I guess. What have they meant to you as you talk particularly about sort of evolving that defense as the year goes on? What have those two guys in particular maybe meant to you this first season?
Yeah, I think a lot. I'm a linebacker myself as a player, as a coach that position, most of the places I've been, that in the secondary, and really have a real passion about that position, being the leaders of the defense, taking ownership of it, just verbally, physically, talking about being a leader, being a productive guy. Those are the kind of two things, and they've embraced that. And I've never had a great defense where we didn't have really good linebackers, and both of those guys, they're really, really quality people, first of all, which is fun to be with every day, but they both are extremely bought in from the very beginning. And that's a tribute to them, and they're wanting to get this right and get things fixed. And so, they've really been guys I've leaned on. I pull them aside, I meet with them, I talk to them, and rely on them to help me understand the pulse of the defense as a unit. And obviously, as their confidence has grown, understanding the scheme and their checks and adjustments, it's allowed them to play faster, play better, and be the productive players that I thought they would be from the beginning. So they've been a huge part of this, and will continue to be moving forward.
Talk to you guys about, you guys have played a very solid game, but you're not able to stop the last drive of regulation, but then you guys help win the game in overtime.
That's right.
What did you say in between end of regulation and those 2 guys?
Well, was disappointed that we didn't finish the game. Especially you can talk about several different situations that we didn't come up with the stop, but the final one on 4th and 2, just felt like we had the timeout. We had a pretty good idea what we thought they were going to do, had it all squared away, felt great about it. They did what we thought they were going to do, and our guy falls down. And I just couldn't believe it. So, but at the same time, we've done this a long time, so we had to flush that, get him on the sideline. Knew we were heading to overtime, and didn't know if we were going to have to go out right away or not. You never know until they flip the coin. But I was a little concerned. I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't, because anytime that happens, you could look at the two benches. They were jumping up and down, because they had just gotten new life because they had come from behind on that drive. And our guys were kind of hanging their heads a little bit. So, man, I just got into them in a positive way and just tried to breathe life and confidence and fight and grit and just draw it out of them. And so they responded, and they took the field. And, man, it was just 3 plays in a row that were just absolutely the way you got to finish.
Talk about that, you got a one-on-one tackle from Fields. Doherty makes the play, and then Hoff gets held and still makes the play.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they'd had a certain personnel package that they got into on first down. That we had a couple calls we liked against that, and we used those, and it worked great. And Tony Fields made a great open field tackle, so which just set the tone right away. You want to get it. We talked about in that, we said, hey, we got to win this series, and you win the series by winning first down. That was our first focus. You win first down. And then, so we make a great play there by Tony. And then we get into a situation where we bring some pressure, and Pat Doherty makes an awesome play. Just a one-on-one. We bring pressure inside. He comes clean. He gets a big-time sack. And that's a guy that, couldn't be happier for him, because he's just a blue-collar, does everything you ask him to do, awesome attitude, Effort is never an issue with him. He brings it every single day, and he was rewarded with a very, very timely and big-time sack for us. And then get to third down, and we'd work some things that we felt like we had an opportunity per that situation to get some pressure on the quarterback as well as play the coverage we want. And then you got a guy like Hoff who, he grabbed me after the game and he said, "I told you I could rush the passer," and because we take him out most of the times on third downs, and so, but he was so fired up. But it was just he just willed himself to make the play. Like you said, he got held. Going against we thought their best lineman, one-on-one, and he won the one-on-one at the most critical point in the game. And so just couldn't be happier and he's another guy, and I could mention several that from the very beginning since I've been here, just by the look in his eye, the buy-in has been strong, and the want to and the care factor is high with him, and he works hard every day and does everything I ask him to do. And so to see those kind of guys rewarded on a big stage and a big game for us was pretty cool, and I was happy for them. And obviously that was big, and get them to that long field goal, and then we know what happened after that.
I've heard the term juggernaut applied to Ohio State. I don't think that's inappropriate necessarily. What do you see?
Really good football team, and I've been fortunate to be able to see several up close and personal the last several years, and they have great team speed, and they have an excellent quarterback, as good as you're going to find in this country. And we recruited him when I was at Ole Miss, and I was the one recruiting him, and got to know him, and just a quality person too, as well as being a really good player. So got a lot of respect for him. Anytime you got a guy that can throw it and run it with very, very great effectiveness, it always puts pressure on the defense, and he's big, so he's obviously he makes them go.
As I said, with the team, they obviously were going to be very talented but very young.
Mm-hmm.
Having an experienced quarterback.
Yeah,
like him is really
if they were young, across the board at the quarterback position too, I think you'd see a little difference. But having an experienced quarterback and young everywhere around him, it's allowed for it to be still obviously a very, very good product. And they've played some good teams, and so yeah, we're gonna have to be able to be extremely sound and do a great job. We'll have a great plan. The kids are going to believe in it. They're going to play their tails off for 60 minutes, but obviously a tremendous challenge for us as a defense, and both in scheme, in talent, and in environment. But as I told our guys today, this excites me. It's a great opportunity that you get a chance to go there and prove a bunch of people wrong.
How frustrating was it in the first half to have a couple takeaways negated by penalties, and how do you correct that at halftime?
Well, I don't have a striped shirt on, so I can't affect the calls. I thought that Fant made a great play, but the bottom line is just with takeaways. Sometimes the ball bounces your way, and sometimes it doesn't. To me, those weren't, those were errors of aggression, and they happen. And we want to press the issue. If you notice, we don't, we play a very aggressive, style, and you're going to have that sometimes. And so, but it is frustrating because you want them, and you know how big they are, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing. The ball's coming out. We're getting the ball out. We got to make sure we come up with it. We can't negate it with our own penalties. And when the ball's in the air and we get those picks, we want to make sure we get them. So, but we keep, making it a priority, and that's never going to change.
After the first 4 games, what's your evaluation so far?
I think that the kids' effort, the toughness and the effort has been encouraging, for me. I still think we make too many mistakes, and we obviously gave up one real long pass play that was a mistake on our part, and the other one was not the exact same mistake, but it was a blown coverage, and just can't do that. We can't give those. We work too hard to get the stops. We were really, really good on third downs, which I thought was probably the difference in the game, in addition to the overtime play. But those were big time for us. Both the way we played defensively and the way our offense played offensively in those situations was really key for the change in the fourth quarter and allowing us to take the lead. So, but to me, you got to continue to emphasize those things. So to me, everything we said from the beginning hadn't changed. We're going to be emphasizing takeaways. We're we did a great job in the beginning. We got to continue to get more of those. Haven't been happy with those the last couple games. And then our tackling has continued to improve, although in the fourth quarter we got a little fatigue, missed some tackles. So it's about finishing still. So I still don't see us, I want to see us create more depth. I want us to be able to continue to play more guys for more reps that allow us to be more, fresh in the fourth quarter and be able to do a better job there. So that'd be my assessment, that I feel like the things that we can control, I've been pleased with. The things that we got to continue to work at in terms of execution and being able to adjust the scheme, on the field, that takes time. It's the leadership part, it's the reps, it's guys feeling comfortable in the defense. Those things are continuing to develop, but obviously not where we need to be. But I think you see continued growth as opponents get better each week. We've got to continue to make that advancement, and I see that. So I'm proud of our guys' effort and their toughness.
You talked about that, a couple of guys that really are surfacing. Ashawn Riggins, freshman corner, and then Chris Covington, the quarterback, all of a sudden linebacker really showed. Talk about them a little bit. Yeah, I think
Ashawn to me is a guy that I've mentioned a few times earlier, and continued to be impressed by him. He played extremely well, and he's a guy that has the skill set, has the length, but once again, great kid. Cares, has tremendous eye contact when you talk to him. He listens, he responds, and that's what you want. But he has the skills, the athleticism, and the ability to cover guys that a lot of guys don't with his length. So very, very encouraged by his development, and he needs to keep progressing. And then Chris Covington's a guy that I really hoped would just rise up. We need guys like him to rise up and play well, to give Marcus, because obviously when we play in our Husky package, he'll be our Mike backer, and then we go to our base package, he plays an outside linebacker for us and did a tremendous job, helps us on special teams, has done a great job. It's the special teams player of the game, this past week. So, and that's what I challenge the linebackers to do. I mean, they should be all over. Those guys that aren't starters, they should be all over special teams. If I'm a linebacker, if I'm a safety, even some of our corners. And so he's accepted that challenge, and he needs to continue to develop. And for him, it was even just learning defense. Sometimes when you're a 2 or a 3, you don't get as many reps as the 1s might at times, and so he has to really study film. He comes in extra, and Coach Inge has done a great job with him and getting him to be able to know what he's doing. So really encouraged by Chris, and we need to continue to have him make plays.
Coach, what kind of challenges does a player like Mary Check or Samuel present, and how do you contain the challenges?
Yeah, I think anytime you see this much speed, you want to keep it leveraged. You don't want to see it out in space. Obviously that's where they'll be able to take advantage of you. And schematically, they do a great job of making that hard. They really do. And their whole offensive staff is excellent. First class and how they prepare and how the conflicts that they put you in defensively, so they're going to get those guys in situations where they'll put our perimeter guys in run pass conflict in this style of offense, and also by having the quarterback as a runner, that creates an extra guy that you got to account for, that in some offenses you don't, so I think that anytime you got that much speed, it makes you nervous, because speed is a tough thing. That's why everybody wants it, so I think that, Coach Meyer, no matter where he's been, he builds it like this, and so I think that he's got a bunch of guys, and if they kind of rotate him in too, it's really kind of almost, there's so many of them, you just kind of, it's whoever's in that spot. We talk about our guys recognizing pictures, because it doesn't really matter who's in that position. It's just where that position is lined up. And so we don't make a big deal too much about individual guys other than the quarterback. And we just got to be able to, keep that speed contained and keep it hemmed in so we can get a bunch of guys to the football and get that speed on the ground. Great. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.